What's up, everybody, and welcome to TalkChain. Today I want to talk about the cryptocurrency markets. I'm also going to get into the basic attention token, and also going to talk about a little bit of crypto fraud and Venezuela getting into the market. Rob sadly cannot be here with us today because of his terrible data connection, which made Skype just terrible. So I'm doing it solo. My name is Matt, and please hit the subscribe button if you like what we're doing. So in the markets today, market cap about $560 billion, Bitcoin dominance about 34%. Overall today it seemed relatively flat. Nothing too much to report in terms of big price action. Ripple seems to be the only one that's actually about 10% right now. If we look at Bitcoin specifically, we can see I drew these lines and I kept them there just to have an idea of what I was looking at. And in that big downtrend that we had, we kept bouncing off of this resistance line, and then it found this bottom here around 9,400, and that was yesterday at some point. And we were starting to make some sort of a trend, but we can see that whatever trend was going to happen, it kept bouncing off of this. And it broke through here earlier today, so we're still looking for some sort of pattern that we can hang our hat on, and it looks like we're not going to get that. So something to keep in mind. Otherwise, one of the coins that I thought was particularly interesting is basic attention token. So if I pull that up, right here. So it's ranked 50th right now. It's got a market cap of about 572 million and trading at about 58 cents today. And it had a peak of about 80 something cents. So I bought a bunch of this in the 70-cent area because I thought we were going to continue to go upwards, but clearly that did not happen with the disaster that went on in the last few days. So the reason why this piqued my interest is a friend of mine showed me started talking to me about it and told me about what was up. And so when I looked into it deeper, it seemed like an interesting project, and a project that actually had a real utility to it. So with a lot of the coins Rob and I have spoken about before, a lot of them don't actually have a product. A lot of them don't have a utility. They have an idea, and there's nothing wrong with an idea, but it's different when some company actually brings a product to the table and you can actually see their path forward. So with these guys in particular, I thought it was interesting because they do have a product, and it's all based on their Brave web browser. So if you've never heard of Brave, it's a new web browser. It's only been out for a little while, and it's been created by this dude named Brendan Eich, and he was the original founder of he created JavaScript, and he was also a founder of Firefox. So it's nice to see that, and he's creating another browser, so obviously he knows what he's doing when it comes to that, which is encouraging. I wouldn't consider Brendan Eich really like a ideal marketing figure like Justin Sun for Tron or any of these other people that seem to really represent the company. He's not really like the marketing type guy, it seems, but definitely he seems like he has the background for the tech, which is something that you want in a company that's going forward. So the problem that they're trying to fix is really the disconnect between traditional browsers and their users and the advertising that goes in between them. So the current setup is that browsers need they only survive off of ad revenue, and users of course hate ads. So there's this constant battle between users and advertisers to try and get eyes. And in order to do that, a lot of trackers are on traditional browsers that really slow down the load times, and they make the browser very inefficient. So what Brave is trying to do is they're trying to fix that by using blockchain technology, and their first phase that they talk about is actually launching the browser, which they've done. So people are starting to sign up to the browser. People are starting to use the basic attention token well, I guess I should explain. The basic attention token is sort of their ecosystem token that they're trying to use to get users to be paid in that if they're going to spend time on a website, or they can use it as to buy like a subscription service to a website, or websites can pay people in basic attention token for them to visit their site. So the token is really, it wasn't completely clear exactly how it would be used, and probably because there's so many different use cases that can go on from this. So I think it's going to evolve over time. But the one of the things that they're doing is they've today, actually, or yesterday, they made an announcement that they're giving away a little bit of basic attention token to anybody who has an account or anybody who's downloaded the browser. So you can actually use the token to do what they want. So you can really spend time and on their dime, or somebody's dime, I guess, whoever's invested in the company, you can spend some of that basic attention token and see what the real functionality of the browser and of the token is. So I think it's pretty cool. It's a neat idea. I was playing around with the browser, and it's got most of the functionality that you want in any other browser, and yeah. So I think as they go forward, it's going to evolve over time, like I said, and it's going to make it a more interesting browser and a more interesting concept. Yeah. So it's the token itself is an ERC20 coin, so it's traded on the Ethereum network. And like Rob and I have said, so many of these coins are now being on the Ethereum network, which just also reinforces the fact that you should have some Ethereum in your portfolio because everybody is using it. The team is about 13 people, and if you go through their bios, it looks like they've all been in the space for quite some time. So it's encouraging to see that. And a lot of them are in different parts of the field. So there's marketing people and tech people and engineering people. So it looks like in terms of a path to success that they have some of everybody in that regard. When I was looking at other things that we look about when it comes to browsers, so Chrome is the leader when it comes to market share, and I found this site that illustrates the different market share worldwide of different browsers. So Chrome's sitting at 55%, followed by Safari way down at 14%, and then the rest are all under the 10% range. And some of these I haven't even heard of UC browser. So anyway, so these browsers that aren't owned by an actual search engine, they get their revenue from people using the search bar. So these companies have deals with search engines, and whatever their default search bar is, they sort of get revenue from that. So Firefox for a long time had an exclusive deal with Google, and they made most of their money through Google ad revenue. So Google paid them to have people search through their search bar through Google. So when it comes to being valued as a product, Brave really needs to get on this market share site, and also needs to figure out ways to get people to use the browser as much as possible. So yeah, and then the last thing, so they were giving away $1 million in basic attention token. So I think if you haven't done it, definitely sign up for the browser, even if you don't want to buy any coins, and just see what it's about, and see if you like the system. It's supposed to be a very lightweight browser, so it loads really quickly, and you have an option to sort of pay the BAT in different ways that you want. So I think it's worth checking out. I myself have about 200 BAT, so not a huge position, but I think it's an interesting product, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is I saw this article about Venezuela trying to pimp their own cryptocurrency. And if you haven't been following anything about Venezuela, they've been going through this hyperinflation problem right now that's largely due to their socialist government headed by Maduro. So they are visiting in Qatar to try and get an investment from them to support their Petro ICO, or cryptocurrency, that they're going to do. So if anybody thought that BitConnect was going to be the end of crypto frauds, they're coming in all different forms. So this is led by a government that's largely corrupt, and they're pimping their own cryptocurrency in a hope to fix their hyperinflation issues. So this crypto is going to be tied to a barrel of Venezuelan oil, but you know, the value of oil, it's not very stable. If you've been following oil to any capacity, you've probably heard how it was at an all-time low in the last year or so, and then it's slowly been trickling back. But people aren't very confident that it's ever going to reach $100 a barrel like it did maybe 5 years ago. Anyway, so they're trying to get stability in their currency, and if they can't do it using traditional means that other countries use, it's hard to imagine that a cryptocurrency is going to do it for them. So this is just a warning to be mindful of all sorts of different fraudulent cryptocurrencies that are out there. And I'm not saying this is a fraud, but to think that a government can't absolutely destroy a blockchain product is not true, even if they're the ones that have issued it. So that's all I really wanted to get to today. A bit of a short video. I think tomorrow Rob and I will be back at it with the same kind of banter. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And if you want to support the channel, please subscribe or like or comment. Tell us what you think. And with that, I want to say thanks for listening and see you next time.